Back inside the James S. Trent Arena, game number 2 for tonight, featuring the 20-1 IMG Academy Ascenders and the 13-2 Huntington Prep Academy. Mike Hurd, Coach Kelly, and Sly Williams, the one and only. And if game 1 resembled part of a track meet, game number 2 is going to be a track meet at a very high speed when these two teams take each other on. Two teams familiar to one another. They met here in this game a couple of years ago. IMG beat Huntington Prep 74-70, but just some flat-out terrific athletes in this game.
We're talking about some big-time ballers, some high flyers. Over there on the IMG side, got a guy by the name of Jaden Springer out of North Carolina. I love this kid. I love how Jaden Springer plays. Class of 220. Noah Farrakhan, another guy out of 220, out of class of 220. Absolute beast. Armando Bacat, he is one. Oh my goodness. I keep saying, oh my goodness. These guys.
You got to save them. You only get so many.
I only get so many. They're awesome. And that's on the IMG side. Over there on that Huntington Prep side, I've had the pleasure of calling Huntington Prep. I think this will be my 5th time calling Huntington Prep this year. And those guys are athletic and they are good. They're led by Jamin Brakefield. Jamin Brakefield, last year he was the Mr. West Virginia, their basketball player of the year. He's a class of 220 guy. He can do it. He can shoot over you, he can go around you, or he can just jump over you if he gets bored. Another guy, JT Thor. JT Thor is long and he is good. JT Thor is a forward who plays like he's a guard. All these guys are tough. Zach Loveday recently transferred in. He's a 2020 6'11". We call him 6'12". He doesn't want to be 7 foot. He's 6'12". Big time power forward, big time player out of Ohio. And the one guy I like.
As in he got out of Ohio.
Yeah. One guy I like comes off the bench. Quinn Solinsky. Quinn Solinsky is a starter. He's committed to go to U of L. He is a shooter, ladies and gentlemen. Do not let him see the basket or he'll make you pay.
So Brakefield, Zielinski headed to Louisville. Greg Tribble making his re-debut, the 3-star out of Cincinnati's Winton Woods High School. Back at home, JT Thor and A.J. Hoggard for Huntington Prep and Coach Bruce. You see him there in the yellow jerseys. It is Josh Green headed to Arizona out of Sydney, Australia. Noah Farrakhan, Armando Bacat Jr. to the University of North Carolina. Jeremiah Robinson Earl at Nova, and Jaden Springer, the 5 on the floor for the, deep royal blue jerseys. So we get the opening tip.
Yeah, that deep royal blue, we'll call it that.
Too close to Duke blue. Huntington Prep with the basketball first. Shout out to Daniel. And the 3 from straight away. If the first game started with a dunk, the second has to start with a triple.
I told you he was a shooter. You let him see the basket, he'll make you pay.
Early on, Armando Bacat Jr. wins the shoe game.
Oh, yeah.
At least for me. Bright shoes. And again, hey, check this out, Coach. No box out. It's a carryover.
The fundamentals.
3-2. You get the point that at some point with two teams who average over 73 points a game, this one is going to get into an up-and-down game. As the pass inside, little floater. Don't mind if I do. Greg Tribble returning home and getting his first 2. So the good news is teams are 3 for 3 to start out from the field.
And, I think 2 years ago when they played, they played this one with the shot clock. I'm not sure if it was this one or when IMG played Prolific Prep.
I think it was this one because it was in 17 before the OHSAA changed their rules on that. No team in this can play with a shot clock, or an OHSAA team is ruled as an exhibition. That's one of the rules they made recently. Quick step back, high off the back of the net, or back of the rim for Tribble. And he's going to get called for the block. One of those quick bang-bang plays at midcourt.
One of those, I like to call that a frustration foul. He missed the shot, and then he came and did something silly.
Yeah, there you see the missed shot, and now here as he kind of comes across. Oh, I should try to get in front of that guy.
Just throw my body right into him.
Who's got the number of that truck? But Fairmont starting off, flying to the hoop this year with an impressive win. Early on as a deep 2 from the right side. I thought that was going to be a slam. as Armando Bacot averages about 10 rebounds a game. So back with Huntington Prep as they try to work quickly on that high take off the glass for Jamin Brakefield. There's your guy, Sly.
Yeah, that's him. That is my guy right there, Mr. West Virginia. Guy does a little bit of it all.
And just like game one, after the first 9 points, it's 7-2. As odd as that is, watch this replay. This is just it's flat out speed. I'm just going to be able to get in front of you and take it exactly where I want. The Maryland step, just give it different names every time.
Yeah, give it a different name. We're no longer calling it the Euro step.
Armando Bacot with the basket off the glass. Bacot at 13.4 points per game out of Richmond, Virginia. Heading down the road to play for Roy Williams and the Tar Heels, who I'm excited about this kid playing for UNC as a foul on the other end. I think there are a lot of those guys you can see throughout the course of this game and this weekend, where if you're a fan of college basketball, you know this weekend, this tournament, you're going to see your future.
Right.
So many of these young guys will be playing under the big lights next year.
Free throw no good for A.J. Hogger. And I've always thought this event is unique in the fact that it gives you that big spotlight. Not maybe the same as University of Louisville in their arena, but it is a big-time feel when you come here to fly into the hoop.
It is. You know, and it impresses me that this is a high school gym. I feel bad saying gym. This is a high school arena.
And they use it for the district, the sectional district in the regionals. That's too easy for Jaden Springer out of Charlotte, able to get himself all the way to the basket. But it's in Dayton, again, is kind of different. We've talked about this last few years and how they do their tournaments. It's a kind of a bigger sectional, but you get a lot of use out of this building, and they do a great job keeping it up. Trying to create something right through the middle. Backdoor pass knocked away. You can see there's those long bodies we talked about. JT Thor for three.
What did I tell you, man? He's a big man who plays like a guard, man. Don't tell him he's supposed to be a big guy.
First 240 of this quarter, and all 5 starters have scored a basket for Huntington Prep. IMG now into the corner. Great three ball. Josh Green headed to Arizona, drops one down. And we've seen in this building, guys headed to Arizona have big games. Saw it a couple of years ago when Findlay Prep was here. It's now a quick back and forth through the first 20 points. Teams love to come out and play high defense on these screens here, at least tonight, as the walk on the way. Brakefield's not going to like that. What surprised me when I read about Huntington Prep, Coach, was they're very efficient with the basketball. They only turn it over about 8 times a game.
That is, you're going to win a lot of basketball games.
Let's take a look at IMG Academy, number 3 in the Max Prep's top 25 in the country, as the steal leads, at least initially, the behind-the-back a layup attempt. That's a shame that Tribble couldn't get that one to go. That'd be his whole stamp for the weekend. Great transition defense turning into offense for the Kansas City, Kansas native and at Nova's, Jeremiah Robinson Earl.
You know, you were talking about, oh my goodness.
Excuse me.
Man.
I tell you, don't tell him he's a big man.
JT Hammer of Thor with his 3. You don't expect that when you look at him, that he's going to be that good of a three-point shooter, but he shoots well over 30%.
And the thing is, he handles the ball so well, too, to be a big man. He handles the ball like a guard.
Who do you even give that point to?
The guy, give it to the guy who raises his hand. That's what you always want to
They
do.
gave it to Armando Bacot, 6'10". That's going to be my favorite highlight of the whole weekend now.
Oh.
As a tie-up, I really thought that was going to be jump ball, but IMG will play on, trying to take a lead, and they do.
See, no one wanted to get in front of him on that play. Just let him have it.
You don't want to end up as the poster.
That's right.
But, you know, I like how the big man controlled his body going through the lane, too.
Right.
Nice body control by the big man. That big, running down the court full speed and control himself like that. I like that.
You look at JT Thor, by the way, as he sets this screen and the foul as Tribble will go to the line. But I really like this young man, 6'9", out of South Sudan, as you see this replay. But you look at his shoulders, big, broad shoulders. You imagine in the Huntington Prep weight room he's going to gain some by the time he's a senior. He's going to be a beast.
And that's the thing, man. You got a great program over there, coached by Arkell Bruce. Arkell's been there for a long time. And when you talked about how they don't turn the ball over, so they don't turn the ball over a lot, that's a sign of a well-coached team. And Coach Bruce is one of the best ones out here in the nation doing
Emmanuel
what he does.
Akpamo out of Delta State, Nigeria, into the game. He 6'9" at center. You see they're wearing 21. And Zach Loveday, for the first time, they made him tuck his shirt in. They don't make him long enough for these guys. 6'10" junior, like you said, he might be 6'12".
Yep.
Second free throw, triple, no good. So maybe it's the return home. A little nervous right now. It's 15-14. This is the score at the end of the first quarter of the last game.
Right.
That's just to tell you the pace if you're just tuning in. And we appreciate you wherever that you may be. Josh Green from the corner. Didn't like his initial thought process. Decided to take the shot anyways, and out of bounds. Stays with IMG as frequent substitutions. Bring in Josh Primo out of Ontario, Canada, the 6'5" sophomore. So look at Jaden Springer there waiting up top for this ball to come into him. Credit Loveday. Again, just his second game with this team, but he defensively, smart kid. Got right on the inbounder. As it didn't matter, Noah Farrakhan ends up knocking down the same shot anyways.
Farrakhan, nice shot out there out of that corner. I like Farrakhan, the way he puts that thing up out of Newark, New Jersey. Newark.
On a blocking foul. Ought to be on Jaden Springer.
You know, it's so many talented players on both of these rosters, but especially IMG. IMG has a lot of these nationally ranked players, and you have to give it up to Coach Sean McAloon. You know, it's his second year as a head coach there, but it's not easy. People think, oh, I got a bunch of all-stars. It should be easy to coach, man. It's not easy coaching all these players who, wherever they came from, they were the number one player on their team. And
That's John Calipari.
Exactly. You got to make them play as a team.
It's not working for Kentucky right now.
Yep. I do like Ashton. That young guy, Ashton Higgins.
Got rid of Quade Green, sent him back to Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah, ran him off quick.
He's probably going to end up at Nova anyways. Minute 50 to go. Nobody touches Jay Wright's suits. On the step back. That had no business for A.J. Hoggard to go in. He just kind of willed that one in.
Speaking of Philly.
Minute 36 to go now in quarter one. There's a jumper on the other side. Jeremiah Robinson-Earl with 4.
I like how he turned, faced up, and just knocked that down.
You know, he's such a lanky 6'10". He's able to go out and just, like you said earlier about a couple of other players on this offensive foul. You get a handful of guys, they're so athletic you forget, all right, that's nearly a 7-footer doing those guards kind of moves.
Mm-hmm. Now, Hoggard has to be careful. The past 2 games I've called for AJ, he's gotten in foul trouble off of stuff like that. He's a great ball handler. I remember we first saw AJ at the CP3 Rising Stars camp. Chris Paul does a good job of bringing in the best rising freshmen in the nation.
Speaking of rising up, Jaden Springer.
Saw that young man at the same camp.
Gets back on the defensive end as threes continue to rain, or I should say snow, into this building. IMG with the 2-on-3. Great decision by Springer not to try to force that issue. As that ball went through, it looked like a pair of hands. IMG on the move. We'll call it blocked.
That's a good defense by Brakefield.
Jarris Walker had a shot at that ball now as he's the defender. Skip into the corner. Loveday, the lefty stroke for 3 won't fall. And it'll go out of bounds the other way. Loveday, by the way, the 4-star prospect. Ohio State, Florida, Indiana, Purdue, and Xavier. The regional look at who would like to have him. Those are some pretty good choices. Pretty good coaches, too.
He fit in well in any of those programs.
Now, be careful this guy coming off the bench right now. Number 4 for Huntington Prep, Jimma Gatwich. Jimma Gatwich, skinny guy, real small guy, 6'4", but he may be the highest flyer here in the state of Ohio right now. This guy can flat out fly.
And a blocking foul on the baseline.
I've seen him put some dunks down in the middle of a game that belong in a slam dunk contest.
So 24 seconds left in quarter one of a 6-point
Nope, that was
advantage. As now Farrakhan will inbound just inside, and Mikael Brown-Jones had it knocked out of bounds.
I called out the wrong guy. Jim is still over on the bench.
I thought I was losing my
Yeah.
mind.
Me
We
too.
just let it
down
go.
here, I'm like,
I was so excited about calling out Jim. I mean, he's still on the bench.
Look at the entire gold jersey set on the run.
oh, wow.
Great team basketball for the layup for Josh Primo. What I'm impressed by right now, 19 points by 6 different players.
Yeah.
Here's this replay. Watch this run out. On this quick turn, you see 3 right away. They're just going to turn it into a practice of a 3-man weave right here. Perfect late decision for that basket. On the final 8 seconds, you expect Farrakhan to try to create something. Up off that high screen from Bakat and lost out of bounds.
Trying to do a little bit too much.
So 1.6 left, and I never count teams out in this classic of being able to do something here. 75-foot throw. That's a new one. You don't get the hitting the basket support a lot. So 23-19 IMG after 1. You look at IMG all the year. They beat Clearwater on Tuesday for their 9th straight victory. 86-57. Their only loss of the year was 9 games ago. They lost to Mountain Brook. Mountain Brook of Alabama is how I wrote it, in December's City of Palms Classic. And you guys are familiar, obviously, Sly, with that. That has a lot of the top teams that want to play in this event.
Yes. The City of Palms, man, over that Christmas break, over the Christmas break is one of the premier tournaments over the Christmas break. They have McEachin High School, who played here last year. They actually won the tournament this year. They won the tournament, and McEachin team, they are stacked.
There's going to be a lot of traveling out of Florida this week for IMG, too, because they're one. Huntington Prep does it a lot, too. Everybody goes up to Springfield for the Hoop Hall Classic. It's not an easy one for IMG after this, where they get Oak Hill Academy on Sunday.
No, it does. You know, it's hard to feel sorry for IMG, but you know, you got to play Huntington Prep, and then you go on the road and then go and play Oak Hill. That's a tough schedule. They're not running from anybody. Coach McAloon's not running from anybody down there.
Also end up in Tennessee towards the end of the month. They play at the Dr. Pepper Classic in Chattanooga. I think it's the who's who, but Huntington Prep's got one too. They get Bella Vista Academy here on Saturday. And that is a tremendous team out of Arizona we'll talk about all day tomorrow. So IMG with a 4-point lead out of the quarter break, looking to make some magic happen.
Oh, no.
And I can't tell if that's just a little bit of gamesmanship or just if you're A.J. Hoggard, you want to make sure that Mikael Brown-Jones knows he committed that foul.
Well, then I think, you know, he's trying to hold himself up too now. I think that's just him trying to make sure he doesn't fall on his head. He held on to him, and, you know, might as well ride him on down.
So how you doing?
How you doing?
It's Friday night here in Kettering.
You know, where are the good spots to eat? They're both of them from out of town. They're trying to figure out where to eat after the game.
Just ask people on Twitter.
Hey, speaking of Twitter, we love to give shout-outs here at SUV TV. We want to shout out to Matt R. Frakes. He's watching his nephew, Greg Tribble, play on SUV TV. We love to get shout-outs. If you want to tweet us, make sure you tweet us. Tweet us at SUV TV. Tweet us. Let us know what you think. Let us know how you feel. Let us know how good I sound. They'll show a camera up here, and you get to see how good I look also, if you tweet enough.
We'll be down one camera after that. Hogger now 1 out of 2 from a line similar to his first trip. Brings his team to within 3 now. About 7.5 minutes to go in the first. And you got to imagine that Baycott's going to put down a highlight here before long. He just kind of has that, all right, someone get me the basketball. So Huntington Prep now back with the basketball. They've turned it over just a couple of times. Great one-on-one play. But it doesn't happen if you lose the ball. That 3 way offline. Hey, no boxing out.
No boxing out whatsoever.
Ends up working out. 3 missed shots there for HP. As they come back, does IMG on the offensive, or Jarris Walker out of New Freedom, Pennsylvania. He's spotted up over on the right wing, waiting for the ball from the Fairmont logo off the front of the rim. And skies. JT Thor off 1 foot. Just kind of reached up there, used his long body to procure that rebound. Great roll underneath.
Smart play right there by the young man. he knew Okpomo was going to catch that one. He wasn't thinking about doing anything else but going to the basket.
Watch Okpomo's left shoulder when he goes to roll and screen down the lane with the basketball. He just sort of right there. That's a pretty good acting job, too, now that I see it again.
Not as much contact.
Nope. It was a little bit more, I thought, maybe shielded the other way.
Both teams are doing a really good job defensively, not giving open looks. The offense is just that good. I think IMG's just got one too many turnovers right now.
An alley-oop into a layup. Exactly how Brakefield drew it up.
Exactly. Teamwork makes the dream work right there. Brakefield clean it up.
So it's now a 4-point run to open this quarter. He's down underneath. Helping hands get that one up off the glass for Robinson Earl. He's got 6. Feels like everybody on his team right now has got 6. The defensive breakdowns from the earlier game ended up making it an interesting game. You have a feeling about 6 minutes ago in what has been a pretty high scoring first half, that's going to happen. There's going to be 1 or 2 cut downs of the rest of this half maybe that determine what we have going into the break. Brakefield almost lost the basketball.
I like the hands by Walker.
Brakefield from Menashawa to Wisconsin. 3 from the corner. Primo knew. You hold the hand up that high, that confidently, you better make that shot. Out of bounds the opposite way. So now look, the last 7 points for Huntington Prep. They're building something. They bring back in Tribble, and he's got to get something here. He's kind of, all right, he wants that big hometown highlight, rocking those Carolina blue shoes.
Greg Tribble.
I just had to throw that in. Throw that in for Daniel every time I get the chance.
Mike's a big North Carolina fan around here.
Daniel, by the way, who's shooting this game, is a big Duke fan.
We hear this every year.
So I thought of him the other night. Here's Loveday to the baseline. He stepped out of bounds. And that was just another kind of thing of Baycott. Watch this replay. Knowing the big feet, works from the corner, but watch where Baycott kind of puts himself between the ball, gets just enough to force him out of bounds. Now they steal the opposite way. Here comes Huntington Prep on the long step with a basket in the foul.
Nice move by Brakefield. I like Brakefield's game, and I love how he can just score in multiple different positions. You put him in awkward places, and Brakefield he can put the ball in the basket. I know it sounds simple, but he just does that. He just puts the ball in the basket.
Very good body control.
That's why he's got 5 stars. He's one of the highest rated recruits in this year's Flyin to the Hoop. 17 years, just think about all the amazing talent that has gone through. I believe I saw somewhere like 40 NBA All-Stars that have come through here.
Oh, yeah.
Just a crazy number. Oh, wow. Let me show you what I can do. Josh Green behind the back for the layup. And look, he just walked back down. Business. That's what he just gave the entire defensive unit for Huntington Prep.
And I love all the mixtape guys down on the bottom underneath the basket, all of them holding the camera.
How much money do you think they brought with them this weekend? Slow down. See if we could get watch this replay. Watch Josh Green. Arizona right now is salivating at this play. Gets the defender leaning the wrong way. Whoop, doesn't matter. Thanks, here's 2 more.
Oh, my goodness.
That's filthy. So a 28-27 game in which each team has had a handful of highlights already. And Tribble just wills his first free throw in. He gave that one the extreme body English.
Yeah.
It's kind of you throw it up there and you're hoping and you're praying as it's going in.
That's that hometown shot.
Been played at Winton Woods High School, not that far from here, as he's 2 out of 4 from a line. His team 5 out of 6. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a free throw shooting contest like earlier. 30-27. Oh, and Baycott with a slam.
Too easy. Too easy when he gets down there. Too easy.
He will fit in just fine on Tobacco Road.
Yeah, they'll find a spot for him somewhere.
He'll play wherever he wants. Let's see. That ball's thrown so high. Zielinski now with the assist or the attempted assist. JT Thor with a rare miss. Back home the opposite way. IMG in a hurry with that floater, maybe a lob. Kind of caught right between decisions right there. And here comes the 2-on-1. The three-pointer, well, reverse what I just said. Same play the other way. Is on the high take through traffic. Jaden Springer. Coach, I love what he does here. Just sort of protects the basketball, makes sure no one's getting him from behind on that layup.
Good body control.
Jaden Springer's a tough guy, man. I remember watching him as a freshman up there at, I think, Cox Mill in North Carolina.
High arcing three, offline, no box out. No box out again, but this one redirected for Baycott. So an entertaining first half and a throwaway. Now, if you look at the left side of the screen right now, we talked about this at the end of game one about whether the Fairmont students would stay here after successfully, I guess, for their version, taking down Team Canada. They have. They've not been as rowdy, but I think the highlight plays, they've been ready to explode.
During the warm-ups, when they were down there dunking, they were on their feet. Oh, bad
Ill
shot.
advised from JT Thor. That was, I'm just trying to show off my range. It was a tremendous move. Baycott slam.
Oh, yeah.
Off the quick roll again. He's now got 10 of his team's 33.
Baycott's just too big. He gets it down that low. You might as well just go ahead and put 2 points on the board.
I can think of some ACC defenders right now who are probably not thrilled about that kid coming their way. And we already saw Jacoby Neath, who's headed to Wake Forest next year. Put those two guys in the same room, see what they do. Speaking of,
IMG's found their rhythm. They found their legs.
so the UNC, the Nova products with back-to-back slams. Here's one from JT Thor.
That's how you answer right there. JT Thor with the high handoff.
I mean, every one of his dunks has to be a hammer, right?
Yeah,
He's Thor.
Thor.
I mean, look, he jumps so high they couldn't even get him in the picture. That's how you know you're doing it right. What'd you say? You're living right.
living right. There you go.
You'll see it again from a different angle. Here he comes again. Wham. And the quick score on the other end for Jaden Springer. He's having a good first half.
And be careful with that Jaden Springer kid because he can put 30 on you before you blink your eyes.
These highlights are so quick as the redirected almost lob. That almost worked. Tribble into the middle of the lane, kicks it back out. Great ball fake by Zelensky. And here's Thor. Didn't really go up strong. And he's down.
He's down.
He landed awkwardly as IMG back the other way. And get that out of here, though. Probably called a goaltend.
And Thor's still down. I think he hit his forehead or something. He might have caught an elbow to the forehead.
And he's already down in this picture, so this will be of the goaltend. That ball very high for Green. And just, yep, right there. Perfect call on the way down. As they have a great medical staff here attending to JT Thor.
It is the premier health Flying to the Hoop Classic. So now I'm going to tell you what I do last year. You know, we do 20 games. So it's a lot of games. So during some of the breaks and some of the games, the long break, I'll go down in the training room and lay down and take a nap.
He's not joking. That actually happened last year.
That actually happened. I went down and took a nap in the training room.
Multiple looks here on this dunk from Jeremiah Robinson-Earl. Just shoots past the entire defense, and Brakefield was not going to be able to stop him. As the last look of it is JT Thor helped up, and he's able to walk up off the core. But I didn't realize the fifth time I saw this replay, he almost actually lost that ball on his hip on the way up. That's true talent.
Shout-outs. We like to give shout-outs here at SUV TV. Shout out Kendra Beckett. She's out there watching. Lowell Huntington supporter. She's been a fan for years. We like Kendra. Always supported us here on SUV TV. We give shout outs. Make sure you tweet us at SUV TV.
Can also use the hashtag FTTH2019.
There you go.
That's the official hashtag for this year's event.
Or hashtag Sly is the greatest.
Hashtag things Sly doesn't know is what we learned from the first game. That's actually a recurring one. That's a throwback. So 39-32. As both teams, I said, in the open, average about 73 points a game.
We're right on track.
It's Baycott back out. He just patrols the middle. And a ball thrown towards where tomorrow there will be plenty of chicken. and water for us.
Oh, yeah. The hospitality room, one of the great things about working here, the Flyin to the Hoop invitation of going down to the hospitality room for the free food.
That's if you can get in.
Yeah, that's if you can get in. It's always a long line.
There's a long line. It's usually coaches, too.
Yeah,
last handful of years have been a lot of coaches across the way. Bobby Huggins is usually a favorite. I know that Michigan State has had their entire crew here for the last 3 years. That's what's great about the, as it's ranked, number 2 event in America. I still forget. What's number 1? Hoop Hall, I think?
I think Hoop Hall may be number 1. Hoop Hall's number 1. Flyin to the Hoop's number 2. City of Palms number 3. Or Chick-fil-A's number 3.
IMG seems a little bit confused as they had to go to that zone to keep out of the attempted three-point shot for Brakefield.
And there's a guy who shoots you out of the zone. There's a guy who can make you change your mind about playing the zone.
Sean McAloon will call a timeout for IMG, the 6-time Coach of the Year. Over 40 pros under his resume, but watch the spacing. Beautiful in the corner for this 3. That ball had the perfect lack of movement to it as well. First time you get to see a lot of these kids. If you're just tuning in, rooting for one side or the other, you just know this has the propensity where this is going to come down to probably whoever has the ball in their hands last.
Oh, yeah. Because when you have so much talent, man, it's just exciting to see them go back and forth, to see these type of guys just battle with each other and battle. And like you said, whoever has the ball last usually wins.
39-35. You think maybe IMG will take a little bit of extra time as they come across the timeline. Halftime stats in this game should be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
The number of dunks are about, 6, I believe? So we've had a couple of attempted dunks. Crossover for Springer, a little step-back jumper front of the rim. And that will end the first half of play with IMG on top 39-35 here at the 17th annual Flyin to the Hoop Basketball Invitational, brought to you by Premier Health.
Instead of just showing you how fast you get seen at our emergency department, you can see for yourself. Next time you have an emergency, take control by checking premierhealth.com/ER to find the shortest emergency room wait times near you. Premier Health, taking care to a higher level.
39-35 as we begin at quarter number 3. First half numbers, IMG on top by 4. An 11-2 run for Huntington Prep got it closer. At one point, IMG with a 12-3 run. 3 lead changes, 2 ties. We talked about three-point shooting in game 1. Right now, IMG Academy 3 of 5 from outside and 6 of 14 for Huntington Prep, led by Jamin Brakefield with 10 points. Other side is Jaden Springer and Armando Baycott Jr., the North Carolina product, with 11 and 10 respectively. Speaking of 11, about to go to work. Back outside, and good news right out of the gate for Huntington Prep is JT Thor back on the court.
And I like how Tribble came out shooting, nailed out the corner 3, bring it down to a 1-point game. That's how you start off the half.
Mike Hearn, Sly Williams, and Coach Kelly, and a terrific crowd.
Yeah.
Again, everybody not worried, apparently, about Mother Nature. Trying to show off his wares. Again, you want to show out when you come home if you're Greg Tribble. Thor's set up in the corner. That's a one-of-a-kind matchup, he and Baycott. Just keep looking at it, thinking about that. Great crossover for Tribble. Back-to-back threes. Home cooking is apparently the greatest thing you can have. 6 in a row for him. It's 41-39 for Huntington Prep, who once upon a time had another local connection, as that 2 offline in the fight for the basketball. Huntington Prep would have had Andre Gordon from Sydney. Gordon goes there during the summer. Said it really wasn't for him, comes back, and he's now down the road, or up the road from here at Sydney. Here's Thor again, left wing. Ooh.
Good box out. We have a box out there.
And it made it, you see how much it makes it difficult for Jamin Brakefield to get to that. Is watch, Tribble, crossover, step back, too easy.
Tribble can actually sleep in his own bed tonight. Cincinnati's right down the road.
You wonder how many of his friends have probably already texted him about, hey, what time are you guys done? I know you got to play, you got a double weekend, as they will play again on Sunday against Bella Vista Prep. Smart move by Brakefield not to try to touch that. Jeremiah Robinson-Earl with his 12-point.
And once again, that's been the story tonight, though. Boxing out on the offensive glass. No one boxes out.
Well, you know, it's such an odd thing, too, because people always think that, oh, we're just harping on it. No, but we have a coach with us. That's her point of view. And the 2 coaches across the way, you can see their hands go up every time. Is that not really a great throw? But we talk about it because coaches talk about it. Just a lot of jump shooting right now. A lot of guys standing around watching offensively. As the late foul, that might have been a decent one for Solinsky because he was stopping the highlight.
Yeah, I tell you, anytime you got a foul like that on the fast break, we find out if it's a good foul after the free throws.
And he went for the strip now as I see the replay too, but the future Louisville Cardinal out of Sugar Land, Texas, not able to get any ball. It's Robinson-Earl up and down to the free throw. Believe it or not,
the sweetest place in the world.
That is IMG Academy's first free throw attempt.
Yep.
Wow.
I was just sitting here looking at my book thinking that can't be right. Robinson-Earl headed to Villanova. There will be a lot of interesting conversations between he and Armando Baycott with the rivalry that Louisville, or that Nova and Carolina have had the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, throw Louisville in the mix there. As inside, that shot blocked away by Baycott. Back the opposite way, everybody running. That pass should not have made it there. And the rim stops the dunk. Baycott with a cleanup.
That's Baycott's 4th two-hand power flush. He had 3 on the other end. He comes back to the other side and says, hey, it doesn't matter. I can still do it.
He's got 12 points now, and you're right. At least 8 of the 10 have come off dunks. That one made it easy. He'll get in the face of Brakefield, who's trying to get going like he did in the first half. Already halfway through as the circus has come to town.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't very smart by Brakefield right there. Brakefield, I don't know what he was trying to do. Was he trying to pick up a charge, or I don't know what was going on.
I didn't even know what to say about it the first time, honestly, because Green changed his idea. Initially, I think he was going to go in and just get the charge or get the block right out of the gate. But he kind of changed his idea. I don't know, he wanted to alley-oop that one to himself. as you see. Watch right here. Green, beautiful spin, beats his defender, but it's right here. Oh, let me just get out of the way. 2-2 from the free throw line for the future Arizona Wildcat. Lead back to 5.
I don't know what you two think, but as I've been watching this game, I'm watching IMG energy it's improving and it's getting stronger as the game goes on, and I think that's gonna come into play in the fourth quarter. I'm looking at. I've seen Huntington sometimes have some tired legs during certain plays when IMG starts getting on the run, but they just look like they're locking up a little bit better defensively. They're getting the loose balls.
Ooh, that's Tribble. It's got to be. Stayed with it. You got to love that one, though, as a coach. He knew he missed that shot, immediately followed it, and kept going after it. So that's his first make from inside the arc since the first quarter. And his homecoming has given him 12 as Baycott.
Look at the footwork.
There's one of your post moves.
I'm telling you, I love it.
It started on the three-point line, but it was there.
He gets back and gets beat on the defensive end. The first foul will put Mino Akpamo at the free throw line.
I'm just a big fan of when big men play like big men. If you're a 7-footer, 6'8" guy, 6'10" guy, 240 pounds.
One of those 6'12" guys?
Yeah, one of those, the 6'12" guys, they can play on the outside. Because those are the guys who are afraid to be 7 foot, So
you're not a big fan of the European influence?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not a big Dirk Nowitzki guy?
I'm from Columbia, South Carolina, home of Xavier X-Man McDaniel. That tells you a little bit about how we like to play.
That's a big man.
See a turnover. Back comes Huntington Prep on the spin. The exasperation on the face of A.J. Hoggard. He's just, how did I not get that to go? Well, here's the answer. It's a great run out again.
He attacks the basket so hard, man. I like that. And he's a physical guy too. Not to be the biggest point guard in the world, but he's a physical guy.
Neither team giving up anything too easy. I think we've seen one open three-point shot to begin the half. Outside of that, everything's contested. Players are running back. Stop easy transition buckets.
And believe it or not, those are the things that get you playing time.
That's right.
And everybody knew that Hoggard was going to throw that free throw down, despite the fact that he missed 2 of his previous 4. So it's a 1-point game now as he's up to 7. You can also get, by the way that college basketball has worked out with the change of the little guards. How about X Simpson developing the high hook out of Lima, Ohio? Mm-hmm. Back on the run. Beautiful toss for the slam. That was just a terrifically run break for Brakefield. Stayed with his man. 3 on the other end. Highlight for highlight.
Matching the energy.
Well, I love how Green responded. Green just came back and knocked down that corner 3 like this is what I do all the time.
Brakefield gets this slam, but Hoggard sets this up. Almost to the last minute. He's got defenders just watching him. He knows what he wants to do. Here you go, young man. Make something out of it. Slam.
Flex that muscle. There you go.
And he did.
Let him know. Let him know. And then look at him respond. Look at Green respond.
That is his second triple of this game. Watch the confidence. He set his feet, turned, waited for the defender. I'm just going to hit this in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that dunk was nice, but it was only worth 2 points. Let me show you what 3 does.
And you kind of look at both. The way that it worked out is here's the lead for that dunk. You would get irritated as coaches at time, I would imagine, because guys not getting back. But there were guys back on that play.
Yep.
And there's still just nothing you can do as he almost ripped off the rim.
That's power. That's power. That's going to the hoop with bad intentions.
And if you think about it, that rim has been under siege all night long. It's been that specific rim.
Right.
Because Armando Bacot was working on it early in the first half. He was working.
Watch the young man doing the spin move in the back. He can't believe it. He's mad he didn't Instagram that video. That'll cost you. But a terrifically played game, 51-49 with 3:04 to go in the third.
It amazes me, though, when you catch some of these highlights and you're just scrolling through Instagram and you see people, how do they know to have their phone out at the right exact time to catch some of these highlights?
The answer is because they were all on their phone to begin with.
Oh, there you go.
They were checking Twitter and making sure they found out all about your multifaceted career.
There you go. That's a Slider sports guy.
Maybe like a quadruple threat if you'd have played hockey growing up.
You know, we didn't have many hockey teams in South Carolina. Didn't have many hockey teams in
Well, who
South
thought
Carolina.
Florida would have 2 hockey teams?
Oh, there you go.
I mean, come on.
It skipped over us. It went to North Carolina and then skipped to the Thrashers in Georgia and then down to Panthers in Florida.
Free ball straight away, back of the rim, and a young man that Zielinski's got just that one in the first quarter.
Yeah, he's been quiet majority of the game.
Kind of gotten his wares on the defensive end. He's tipped away a couple of balls. As a free throw line jumper, that's offline. The putback won't go either. But I was going to say for IMG, if that had gone down, they did a tremendous job of creating space.
Right. They picked up on that 1-3-1.
Oh, good hands.
Can't throw across that guy.
Oh, that bothers me. Such a great defensive play, and then you throw up a bad shot.
1-on-3 on that shot. Step back. Hello. Ooh.
Yeah, too bad. 3-point
Goodbye.
shots in a row here.
Both coaches have expressed their frustrations. You see directing traffic in the background there in the black shirt. And Coach Bruce, he's not saying anything I can tell you about. The isolation out 139. Team's forced here. Wow.
Oh, wow.
I can't tell if that was an Emmy Award brewing or what the deal was there.
Nice.
It's a reverse layup for Hoggard. It's his first from the field since he hit that 3 in the first quarter. But there might have been a little bit of acting on one side or the other.
Yeah.
Depends on who you ask. We'll get some hate mail. 3 for Green again.
Oh.
Money all day.
Might want to tell somebody he can shoot.
Hey, they're contesting shots.
Oh,
We've
yeah,
only
that-
seen a few open. I mean, these guys are good shooters,
I think that might be the
Better
worst thing about it.
finishes.
You know you put your hand in
No,
someone's
yeah.
face.
and they're playing a 1-3-1. He shouldn't have even got the 3-point shot off right in that area.
His one in the first quarter, they tried the same thing on him. As the spin and the throw for Greg Tribble. If I had a player of the game, I'd give it to him just for this quarter.
That's right.
He's got 14 overall, but he's got 10 of those in this quarter. There's another steal off the, oh, that's a foul.
Oh, get your phone out.
And a smash. That's almost, you wouldn't think Farrakhan at 6'1" shouldn't be able to get up that high. And you know who struck again?
Yep.
Agent Green. 57-53, and he's the guy that won't go away now if you're Huntington Prep.
You got to work on getting him on the other side of the court.
Wait till he's a part of Pac-12 after dark. He's going to do some big things at Arizona. Final 6 seconds and an offensive foul.
Oh, yeah. Big old Pomo was just cleared out a path going to the lane. He's like, watch out, little man. You're in my way.
Farrakhan got lost initially, tried to figure out where everybody else is at. He knows the screen is coming. But as he goes through, oh, there you go.
There you go.
Final 3 seconds of the quarter, steal. And the throw from half court is no good. If Hoggard got a better look at it,
Could have had a back.
I mean, even off balance. Right. So 57-53 IMG after 3. And I said near the halftime break, you got the feeling this one might come down to who has the ball last. It's really who can weather the storm on these mistakes. And that right there was what I was talking about, might have been the foul. But this block, wham. That's a 6'1" guy doing that to a 6'7" guy. He just climbed the ladder and said no thanks.
Look at that body control right there by Tribble. Tribble's showing out his little homecoming.
He's right. He's happy to be home.
He's got 14 right now, but none more impressive than that. As both teams, have they made enough changes defensively, Coach, for you to where you would feel a little bit comfortable in this timeout?
I think so. I mean, like I said, I've seen 2 and 3 just at their open threes. Their shots are all contested. Everybody's going after the boards. You know, yes, there's not enough box outs, but both teams are still going hard after the rebounds. I mean, like I said earlier in the third quarter, IMG's energy is carrying them through. And you notice when Huntington Prep got a dunk, they come right back with an answer, and they just take the energy away. So can Huntington Prep find some energy to go on a run, but they've also got to stop IMG.
Well, and the other thing, too, about it that's interesting is neither team has played real deep in this game.
Exactly.
So it's not, you don't get guys for a 2 or 3 minute spurt like
Right.
we've seen.
And that's where the fatigue, we're going to see maybe some fatigue kick in too.
So the start of the fourth quarter and a 4-point lead for IMG. Both teams just about 73 points a game. Green again. That just would have been curtains.
That's a big time rebound right here.
There are, count them, 4 yellow jerseys inside right now on that rebound. You love Jaden Springer if you're rooting for IMG, because we talked about in the first game about the little things,
Right.
about doing every little thing. It doesn't necessarily show up. He just beat 4 grown men for that
Right,
rebound.
Absolutely.
So the Charlotte, North Carolina's native's first free throw.
You know, earlier I said he was Cox Mill, but it was Rocky River. He went to Rocky River High School. So I got a couple of tweets quick from the Rocky River people.
Thanks to them for paying attention and for watching back in North Carolina. So a 6-point lead now. The way these games go, it doesn't feel safe, I would imagine, with a whole quarter. Because remember, to start the third, it was back-to-back threes from Greg Tribble, who gave his team what amounted to a quick lead. This beautiful arena here.
Trent Arena. This is a high school arena, folks.
That's what always blows me away. And we always know that it's going to snow this entire weekend.
Yep.
They've got contingency plans in place. You can find it at flyintothehoop.com. As he rebound for the big guy, and Zach Loveday. That's his first 2 of the night. 7'1" junior, formerly of Gallia Academy in Gallipoli, which I could not say for years, by the way. About 40 miles away from Huntington Prep. Apparently Louisville is completely in love with this kid, as are a lot of people.
Springer? I would take him on my team.
Well, both Springer and Loveday.
Oh, okay.
So Springer, who just hit a pair from the line. Up and good on another. His only points of this half have come from the free throw line, and his team didn't shoot one in the first half. They've hit 5 out of 6 in the third and fourth, as Baycott, who's been on the bench for quite some time, into the game, as noticed by his bright shoes and his ridiculous play.
You know, it isn't a bad. How far is West Virginia from Ohio? I mean,
Well,
I
in
guess
15 minutes.
Yeah.
So it
About
depends
a
on-
mile across the
mile
state
across
line.
correction. How far is Huntington from Dayton?
It's a couple hours, depending on how you drive.
3, yeah.
Back into the game, the high left hook.
Oh.
That won't go for JT Thor. That would have been something. It was all the way through the stop and drive. The problem is nobody caught Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Jay Wright is going to be over the moon about this kid. He just does so many things well. But what I've noticed about him is he moves off the ball so well to put himself in that position. He just challenged a 7-footer and he won.
You know, one thing I really like about this IMG program, if you follow that program and you follow everything they do, you know, they list, you know, most teams, they'll send in their roster and they'll have the head coach and a couple assistant coaches. Now, when we get the IMG roster, they have the head coach, assistant coach, academic fairs, athletic trainer, the nutritionist, the director of sport performance, and the director of basketball. I mean, they're serious down there, man. That program that they have down there at IMG Academy, it is something special.
Yeah, it has been a couple of years now, and you get a lot of those programs I know you guys see on a much bigger basis, but you kind of feel like all these programs that have come into existence, this now being the 4th year that IMG has been here, it's old hat for Huntington Prep. They've been kind of similar to Oak Hill for years, where they're the marker, they're the benchmark, they're the old guy on the block. Everybody who's come in here has had massive battles with them.
Yes.
Findlay Prep a couple of years ago was their nemesis for a while.
And I remember watching that young man, Miles Bridges, plays for Charlotte right now. He was one of my most favorite high school players out of Huntington Prep.
A.J. Hoggard again. That's before Bill Walton got a hold of him and started talking about Miles Bridges and London Bridges and the bridges in Madison County. Because again, that wraparound attempt, that might be one of the big mistakes because you're only up 6. And an opportunity for Huntington Prep to cut it to 3 is a high take. How do you even get to that point? A.J. Hoggard.
kid's a wizard with the basketball. Man. I love him as a point guard. I just really like him as a point guard.
You know, he makes the ball, like you said, wizard, disappear so quickly. His nickname is Houdini to me because it shouldn't work on so many levels.
Oh, no.
Look what I can do.
Asleep. Yep.
Robinson Earl with the slam. That's the easiest one he'll get all night. He's got 15. 4 of the 5 players for IMG on the floor right now with more than double figures. And going to work is Tribble trying to set something up. Maybe the walk. Some fans thought so. Foul on the way. Young man in the front row is not very happy about it. I can hear him all the way up here. I was waiting to see how they were going to call that foul, but I'll give it to Robinson Earl.
You know, it's funny. What I'm really impressed about Huntington Prep, you know, you're getting kids to go to Huntington, West Virginia. You know, it's an easy sell.
Right, it's not Huntington Beach, California.
Exactly. It's an easy sell to get a kid to go to Florida, but to send a kid to Huntington Prep, you know, that lets you know that these kids, that the program is doing something right to continue to get top-notch players like you get.
Great reputation.
Jamin Brakefield, when he missed that, his body language just kind of dictated that he didn't really seem bothered by it. Maybe because he wanted to get back on the defensive end, but now he goes to the floor, just says, I'll prove you wrong.
Getting on the floor. I love to see my stars. I love to see my 5-star guys get out on the floor after the loose ball, you know.
For those who missed game 1, though, how do you feel about alternate possessions?
Oh, God. Don't get me started. Once I become the grand wizard, grand
the czar of basketball last year?
The czar of basketball, all high school basketball, we will get rid of alternating possessions and go to a jump ball. We'll get rid of we'll put the underneath the basket, outlaw the charge underneath the basket.
Tribble for 3, short. Got his own rebound. Wonder how he could do that.
And we'll have a shot clock in all of high school basketball.
Also, boxing out will be mandatory. That's my number 1. You don't box out, you sit down. But it's a thing. Again, we talk about this a lot, but it goes back. It's a very fundamental thing.
Right.
You look at a 6-point game and you think, all right, how many of these opportunities either way, as the foul now on Noah Farrakhan will be his 3rd, are created because somebody didn't put a body on their man.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy. Something just as simple and as easy as just finding a man and putting the body on.
Turn and hit someone.
But it's effort.
It's effort.
I mean, it's that effort.
And again, you know, you talked about a coach in the last game. It's not a sexy thing. It doesn't show up in the stat sheet. As the free throw rolls around and in for A.J. Hoggard. Why not?
Too many of these kids come from nowadays they come from the Sylvester Williams School of Basketball. You know, I lived at half court. My favorite word was outlet.
Outlet.
I got this. 65-61, halfway through quarter 4. Springer almost made a mistake. I didn't realize that ball was coming to him. Baycott in the post. Great pass, but nowhere really to go because he and Josh Green essentially the same spot.
I think that was a good bailout right there. They bailed them out on that one.
There's the pass, but you see 4 yellow jerseys, and Green, I think maybe had he approached it from the right side, would have been able to do something else with it.
I think he was too close to the basket. If he was back out about 25 feet, he would have made it count.
That's where he's comfortable at.
Yeah, that's where he's comfortable. About 20 feet away from the basket, knocking down wide open threes or contested threes.
Or the free throw.
Or the free throw.
3 for 3 from the line. And I apologize to IMG fans because the last 2 times I've said a kid is 3 for 3. Oh, there we go. He broke the streak. Last 2 times the kid missed. So 67-61 is Green up to 20. He'll get 2 opportunities to possibly do something big here coming up. Wow, Baycott so high. Honestly, I lost track of which team he was playing for. I thought he was going to dunk it. He was in that great a position. As the long pivot foot, that shot just mobbed by JT Thor. Here's a 2-on-1.
Oh. Bad decision right there. Bad decision. He jumped up in the air, and then he didn't want to decide whether or not he was going to pass it.
Could have said if this was Primo or Brakefield at the end of this that ends up touching it. But the reason why that this ends up going back the opposite way. Oh, and then it'd be Brakefield might have gotten the fingernail on the end of it. Officials got a better view than we do. Down to the baseline and a foul on the way.
And on that last play, I liked how Baycock, he ran the floor. He's playing both ends of the floor. Again, giving that team that energy to stop that fast break.
There you get that other look at it. As you see Baycott with his back turned, the left half of the screen. He gets back just enough to influence this, and he's really just to knock away that passing lane. Ultimately now Springer with his 16th point. As he has hit 5 out of 5 in this quarter from the line. Bends and throws. Perfect backspin. 6 of 6. It's now largest lead of the second half at 8 for IMG. Got to have a good, solid possession here if you're Huntington Prep. The floater, will draw the foul, and body language tells me that's on Baycott.
One good thing about that, the clock is stopped. You know, you got a chance to score with the clock stopped. You can break it down, boom, 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 knock your free throws down. But you have to hit these free throws. Have to hit these free throws.
Armando Baycott Jr. has not scored in the fourth quarter, and he just picked up foul number 4. And there's a discussion on the IMG sideline. 14 fouls on the board right now here in the second half, 8 of those.
Someone bleeding.
Yep. You got a little bit of blood, personal hygiene rule. They'll try to stop the bleeding or sit them out for a little bit.
So again, we've got a terrific medical staff here. Tomorrow's games that start at 11:30 a.m. It's a girls game, a D2, D4 game. As a free throw up and good for Jamin Brakefield, his first of the quarter. The defending Division IV state champions in the Minster Wildcats just recently, last Saturday, lost their number 1 ranking when they lost in double overtime to Fort Loramie. Will take on D2 Dayton Carroll. And I promise you, that's going to be a good one. Solid basketball teams.
Yeah, I think is Carroll undefeated?
I believe so. I know they won their first 14. But that's a good one just to kick off. First Love Christian and Xenia in the 1:15 game. Olentangy Liberty and Centerville at 3. Oak Ridge, Florida and Hilliard Bradley at 4. 4:30 as now Springer goes to work. Right back through the lane off the glass for 2. And the friendly home roll.
You know, even though he scored, I want to see Springer shoot that shot on the outside. That's the one part of his game Springer needs to improve. You know, in order to be the top player in the nation, is that outside shot.
Brakefield with the loss, 3 on none, and looking for Showtime. The long finger roll. Showtime was canceled. It's on later. Back up and through the lane, stripped on the way, and what started with such promise just kind of
failed.
Went down the hill. So credit Huntington Prep for getting back just enough to change these shots, and it kind of seems like, again, every time IMG, I don't want to say fails because I'm not trying to be mean, but doesn't necessarily succeed with a shot, it's because they get caught in between decisions.
Right.
Farrakhan was thinking on his way up.
Right.
Free throw back rim and no good for Robinson Earl. The Kansas City, Kansas product as opposed to Kansas City, Missouri.
Going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come.
It's a place in Kansas City called Joe's Barbecue. It's in a gas station. It's one of the best things I've ever had. I never thought it would be the best barbecue I'd ever had would be at a gas station.
You know what? You say that, but it's a place south of Atlanta. I don't even know the name of the barbecue joint, but it's in a gas station, and it is some of the greatest barbecue I've ever had.
Just don't get the sushi.
Yeah, just don't get the sushi.
Free throw up and good. That's just a lesson from us to you. Robinson Earl with the free throw, 72-63. Again, the largest lead it's been for IMG at 2:15 to go in the fourth. Runner offline it. Back to a late third quarter comment about what Coach was talking about, tempo, and about being able to kind of weather your emotions a little bit. Right now, IMG, you said you were impressed with them early. They've continued to be able to do that here in the fourth.
Right. Thought in the first quarter they had a late start. They hung in there, but they've picked up their energy over the game time. And when I look at the clock, I look at the score, I think of the 3 E's: energy, execution and effort. The effort plays have been there by IMG. You know, the energy, every time Huntington Prep comes out with some more energy, then they match that energy. And then it's just about execution, making free throws. And this is where, to me, Springer, he's executing in the half court, you know, very, very well to make some sort of play or set his teammate up.
Dribble 2 for 2 from the line. He's got 16. His team, though, down by 7 at 72-65. Trying to space out that zone and use those long bodies to create a mismatch. Wow. Talk about high pointing one.
There he goes again.
How Springer gets it to go is not the mystery. To me, now 21 points, it's how he gets to that ball.
Right.
That ball, they clean the ceiling with it. There's a feed inside for the basket. Akpamo. But wow, that's football, that's high pointed. He threw that as high as possibly could be. It was either going to end up in his hands or end up in his coach's hands. Only one of them is eligible. Final minute 15 left in quarter 4. A lot of big scores in this ball game as a foul on JT Thor, the 6'9 sophomore. Both teams shooting in the bonus the rest of the way. Finish up tomorrow, 6:30, Huntington Prep in action, taking on Bella Vista Prep out of Arizona. And then a team I'm always excited to see, Prolific Prep, in the 8:15 game. They just landed in Cincinnati a couple hours ago, talked to the coaching staff, and they're ready to go, taking on Isaiah Carson's Springfield Wildcats. So who's that man again? Springer. Another free throw. He's 7 of 7 in this quarter. Big quarter for him.
Yes.
8 of 8, and he's got 12 of his 23. So now a 76-67 lead with a minute to go. Into the lane goes Hoggard. His floater is good, but you're in pressure. You talk about you can't press if you don't score. Mm-hmm. Minute to go, you're down 7, but we talked about it. The basketball's a funny game. It's not insurmountable. Mm-hmm. You've just got to do a lot of things right.
Right. You need some turnovers by IMG.
You don't want to tell these people out here trying to beat the traffic. Well, like you heard.
The joke of it is they're just going to be like the 8th car in 100
right,
cars.
and they're just going to sit for a little bit.
And they almost got hit with a ball. JT Thor tried to punish them for leaving with his left hand.
Is it going to start snowing tonight or tomorrow?
Middle of the night.
Yeah, middle of the night. 85 inches or whatever it is this week.
You know, it amazes me. Everybody in the area knows that it's going to snow and it's going to come down hard. But this tournament is still sold out every year, without a doubt, man. People love this tournament. This is not the number 2 tournament in the nation for no reason. Well,
and what's crazy about it is Springer continues to knock down free throws.
He's just racking them up, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 9 of 9 in the game, all in this quarter, and really all in the last about 4.5 minutes, as he has not missed yet. The Charlotte, North Carolina product saying it's not cold here. I don't care. 78-69, but
look at that. He's still playing.
Here we go. Outlet
making
to Farrakhan. Beautiful drop pass and a foul.
But you know what I like, though? You know, it's 46 seconds left, 9-point game. Both teams are still out here going up and down the court. You know, and that would have been an easy time for Huntington Prep to say, okay, let them go ahead and get this fast break dunk or whatever. But you still got Huntington Prep. They're still running up and down the court trying to make a difference, man. And I love that. That's the difference. That shows you your type of program. That's the difference in programs right there. That separates the good programs from the elite programs.
Now the free throws from Nova-bound Jeremiah Robinson-Earl. He's 1 for 2 in this quarter, 2 of 4 overall. He wanted to make sure the rims were still working. He looked at Jaden Springer. Man, yours didn't even touch the rim. I hit every part of the rim on mine. So it's going to be a long traffic jam in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
Second one, up and in. He heard me. It's quiet enough in this building right now. It's the first time it's been all night. 10-point lead with 42 seconds to go. On the way, continuation for Jamin Brakefield. Gets the basket in the harm.
Great business idea for somebody in the parking lot. They should take one of those push carts and selling hot food and it just go from car to car. You know.
Eric's right here if you want to pitch it.
Hey, there you go, man. That's another way to make some money, man. Have somebody with a push cart selling food, selling hot food or hot coffee or something.
Armando Bacall with 14 points just fouled out as the free throw good for Brakefield.
I'm going to need a percentage of that if somebody
Maybe quietly has 17 points. He's had a couple of possessions I know he would like to have back, but that steal and scored free throw makes it a 7-point game. Great first day of basketball here at Flyin to the Hoop.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of big-time programs and a lot of programs I'm excited to see. The finale Monday night, Pick Central, who last I checked, after 3 were trailing Pick North by 10. That's their big rivalry game. They take on Trotwood Madison. We've got a lot of terrific players here, but perhaps the game most people are looking forward to, 1:15 p.m. on Monday afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to be a pretty good one. Prolific Prep will take on Spire Academy.
Already sold out.
It is going to be a fantastic atmosphere. So if you can't get into this building, you can watch all of these games back on at flytothehoop.com, thesuvtv.com. And really, for the amount that you get for these games, 20 games for $20.
You can't beat it.
Can't beat it.
That's almost like you're robbing Marcus.
See, here's the problem. You're paying $20 for 20. Most people think, wow, I'm paying $20 for 20 great games. You're actually paying $20 to hear me. You know, that's the steal. That's the steal. You're paying $20 and you get to hear me.
Marcus is going to get some refund requests here soon.
Right. I already see white slips coming our way. So why do they all have IOU on it? We owe them? I've never heard of that. And that might have been, it almost looked like an inadvertent poke in the eye trying to get to the basketball.
Are we going to watch Springer shoot some more free throws?
He's putting on a clinic.
But you know what, though? One thing I do like about Jaden Springer, the way he attacks the basket. He attacks the basket so hard, but what he does, he can also hit free throws. You know, if you got a guy who attacks the basket, and he can't hit free throws,
Right.
what good is he?
Right.
Well, he's probably not being recruited by the programs this kid is.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh, and he almost broke the streak. So now I'm just openly, I'm sorry, Huntington Prep fans, I'm openly rooting for him to keep hitting these free throws. And he hit both. He goes 12 for 12 in this quarter from the line. 81-72, three away and good. JT Thor from the floor. I wasn't trying to rhyme, that's where he ended up.
JT Thor is so impressive. I mean, what do you do with a guy? He's that big.
Watch the save even.
See how long this guy is, man? JT Thor is going to be somebody scary these next couple of years, man.
6'9" sophomore, averaging 10 points a game, a 4-star out of the South Sudan.
See, here's the thing. He's a sophomore. He doesn't know how to play basketball, Chip. He doesn't know anything. He's a sophomore.
Noah Farrakhan, the 6'1" junior for IMG, offline on his first. That is the third his team has missed in about 18 attempts. He misses both in this quarter.
Now, that's a foul they wish they could have back. You know, you foul a good free throw shooter in the open court like that, you're in the 1-and-1. They're going to get a chance to score with the clock stopped.
Jaden Springer's got 27 points. Josh Green's got 20 for IMG Academy. As the free throw no good for Brakefield. But how about this number? Right now, IMG Academy in this quarter, just in this quarter, reminder, they didn't shoot a free throw in the first half, are 18 of 22.
Wow.
They're 21 of 26 overall.
That's a pretty good night at the free
bad.
throw line.
Both teams in the first game shot about 12 of 20 from the line. So these free throws. We'll see the first one come up and in for Jarvis Walker, 6'6" freshman out of New Freedom, Pennsylvania.
God, he went
didn't
to
even
the
try.
line.
He just flipped it and walked away. Again, 20 of 24 from the line in that quarter. The three offline, the chase of it out of bounds. Now a mostly empty left side of the gym, which was just packed about 10 minutes ago. Just that one guy. He's just hanging out in the third row. Those kids are hoping for a basketball. Off the throw, JT Thor.
That's the autograph line right there. They're waiting.
Right.
And if you look over on the other side, they got the kids on the other
Kids are
side.
lined up waiting.
Nobody told them it's the other side. But an 83-75 win for IMG. That's an impressive win. Anytime you're able to beat Huntington Prep in general, but you put two kids with 47 or 83 points,
Right.
and you have the big performance of the line like they did. That's an impressive
That's
win.
impressive.
Impressive. IMG. They're not the number 3 team in the nation for nothing.
IMG now 21-1 on the year as Huntington Prep drops